Welcome to today's Yin Yoga class where we are going to stretch out our hamstrings, our inner and outer hips, and also our glutes. So to get started today, we are going to come into half happy baby. Before you go and lie down on your mat, go ahead and grab a strap or a belt. And then also grab a couple of blocks. And with the blocks, you can place them at the top of your mat. All right, so then come on down to your back. You can stretch your legs out in front of you. And we're just gonna bring that right knee in towards our chest. And you can just kind of go ahead and move back and forth, just waking up your little hip socket here. And then go ahead and grab either the outside of the right foot, or you can take your pointer finger and your middle finger and you can grab the big toe of the right foot. And then just move your right leg around until you find that nice stretch on your inner thigh here. So check in with your left hip and your left foot. See if you can straighten the left leg so the toes are facing up towards the sky. Your hip is facing up. And then use your hand to find your edge. That place that feels good in the stretch, but it's not too painful. We're just going to like a number 5 here. And then once you find your sweet spot, allow yourself to be still. And then just hold the pose. You can close your eyes if you'd like. We're going to hold this pose for 3 minutes. And then notice if you're trying to pull on your leg with your hand. We want a little bit of pressure from pulling, but for the most part, you want to relax your arm and just have a little bit of tension. And then focus on the breath, moving in and out through the nose. Notice if you're gripping in your shoulders. See if you can relax the back of the shoulder blades, allowing your body to get heavy, letting gravity pull you a little deeper into the pose. Stay with your breath another minute here. Round out the hold with a couple deep breaths. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and take another inhale. Exhale it out. Now gently release that right foot. Slowly bring the right leg back down. Stretch it out in front of you. Move that right leg to the left and the right. Notice how that right leg feels compared to the left leg. And then bring that left knee in towards your chest. Take your left hand, grab onto the outside of the left foot, or you can take your pointer finger and middle finger and grab onto the big toe, whatever feels best for you. And then relax your shoulders into the mat. Maybe move your leg around first to find your sweet spot here. Warming up your hip socket. And then go ahead and check in with your right foot. Make sure the toes are facing up towards the sky as well as your right hip. And then find your edge. Find the place, the stretch that feels best to you. We're not at the 10 intensity, we're at the 5. And then see if you can relax your arm a little bit. Soften your shoulders, relax your face. And focus on your breath. Allow your body to just be still. Let those big waves of breath flow through the body, clearing out the meridians, creating pockets of energy. Check in with that right foot. Make sure the right toes are facing up towards the sky. Sometimes our leg wants to fall out and over to the side. Just over another minute here in this pose. Deepen your inhale. Open the mouth, exhale it out. And inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now go ahead and release that left foot. Bring it back down to the mat. Stretch that left leg out in front of you. Gently move the legs back and forth a couple times. And then bring your knees into your chest. Go ahead and cross your ankles and let's come up to a seated position. We're going to come into a diamond fold here. So it's a lot like butterfly pose, except for our feet are going to be further out. So go ahead and lengthen through your spine. Both booty bones are nice and firm on the earth. Bring the soles of your feet together. And so instead of them being close to the body, bring the ankles out in front of you. So when you look down at your legs and feet, you have a 90-degree angle with your legs. And it looks like a diamond shape. So from here, you're going to take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then on the exhale, find your edge. So your edge might be right here. The intensity of the pose might be just enough right here. Or you might find that you want to hinge a little deeper through the hips. Maybe rest your elbows on your legs, bring your hands into prayer, and rest your forehead on your hands. If you want a deeper pose than that, you can lace your arms under your legs. Take an inhale and then exhale into your sweet spot here. So once you find your edge, start focusing on your breath. See if you can allow gravity to pull you a little deeper into the pose. And just hold still and be with your breath. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes. You can allow your head to get heavy, letting your chin fall in towards your chest. Normally in a vinyasa class, I tell you to keep your spine nice and long. But since we're working more with the connective tissue here, we can allow gravity to do the work. We can let our body soften and stretch those connective tissues because we're focusing more on the connective tissue than the muscles. As you exhale, see if your body just naturally melts a little deeper towards the earth. Stay with your breath. So to come out of the pose, if your arms are under your legs, turn your palms down, press into your hands and gradually walk your hands out. If your hands are in prayer, press your hands into the legs and just slowly walk your spine back up. Go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you, gently move them. Noticing any changes in your body. And then bring the legs to the left side. We're going to move into low lunge. So this might be where you want your blocks. So you can place them at the top of your mat. We'll bring our body into table. You can place your hands on your blocks. And then bring that right foot forward. So we have a nice 90-degree angle here with our right leg. And we're going to bring our blocks to the outside of the right foot and then also to the left side. Now I want you to stretch your left leg behind you. So you're going to feel a stretch here in the hip flexor. And then if it feels good to you, rest the top of the left foot flat onto the mat. So once again, check in with this right foot. Make sure you have a 90-degree angle. You're pressing into all 3 points of the right foot and then the top of the left foot. And then you're going to take your gaze forward, lengthening through the spine. And so I want you to find your edge here. So maybe if the blocks are tall, the stretch isn't intense enough. So you can turn the blocks to a lower position. Or you might even find that you don't want any blocks at all and you want to place the pads of your fingers onto the mat. So that's too intense for me. So I'm going to stay right here on the blocks where I can have a nice long spine, and I'm finding my edge. So if I go deeper than this, that's going to take me to a place of pain. I'm going to be so focused on that sensation in my body that my whole body's going to tense up, and it's going to take away from the effectiveness of the pose. So focus your gaze on one spot and then stay with your breath. So as you check in with yourself, notice if the pose has gotten too intense. You can always bring your hips back a little bit. You can always come back up a little bit higher on your blocks. Or you can notice if you just want to allow your body to sink a little deeper into the pose. We've got just over a minute left on this side. Nice long deep inhales. We're opening up the meridians. And as you exhale, you're just letting go. You're creating more space with every breath you take. If your eyes are closed, just notice what's going on inside of the body. And then take another inhale and then gently push your hips back. Do a little hamstring stretch on that right leg. And then we're going to step our right leg back to our left. Go ahead and shake out that left leg if you need to. Then square the hips back up. We're going to bring the left foot forward this time. So we have a nice 90-degree angle here with our left leg. We're going to place our hands on the blocks and then stretch that right leg behind you. The top of the right foot is pressing down into the mat. And then we're going to lengthen through our spine, gaze on a spot in front of us. And now we're going to find our edge. So notice if it's on a different setting with the blocks, or if you want your hands all the way down to the mat. I'm going to stay here on my tallest setting. And then I'm going to close down my eyes. And then I want you to focus on your breath as you hold the pose and be still. And if you find that right knee is a little uncomfortable, you can always take a towel or a blanket and place it under your knee to provide a little bit more cushion and support. Notice if your breath is wanting to become shallow. As we hold the pose, it gets a little more intense. So we want to lengthen that inhale, lengthen the exhale. And if you find the pose is getting too intense, back out of it. Don't stay into that place where you're going to get all tight. Just gently move out. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it out. And then gently push those hips back. Stretch the back of that left leg for a moment. And then you can bring the left leg back to the right. So you can set your blocks over to the side. Just have them within reaching distance in case you need them. And we're going to come to a seated position. We're going to come into square pose. So with square pose, we're going to stretch our outer hips. So we're going to take that right ankle. We're going to place it on top of the left knee. So you're going to notice on me, there's a huge gap here. So I'm going to take a block and I'm going to place it between that gap. So whatever you have, whether it's a block or blankets, you're going to stack that up to fill the gap here. So I feel the stretch in my outer hips, but it's not too intense. So I want you to take an inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, close down your eyes, if that feels good to you. And just breathe in and out through the nose as we hold this pose for 2 minutes. Soften your face. So go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed. We'll gradually come out of this pose by first removing the blocks or the blankets, and then take your right leg out, maybe move it to the left and the right, and we'll come to the other side. So cross that right foot in front of you, so the shins crossing through the center of the body, and then we're going to place that left heel ankle on top of the right leg. So once again, I have a gap over here, so I'm going to place my block to fill that gap. And then I'm going to inhale and lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, if you'd like, close down your eyes, relax through your shoulders. And just let gravity do the work. Allow yourself to be still and hold the pose. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Open the mouth, exhale it out. And then we're going to remove this block and release the left leg. Go ahead and just move it gently back and forth, releasing that blood flow. Then we're going to come back down to our backs for our final pose before we go into Shavasana. So we're going to need a strap for that or a belt. If you don't have either, you'll still be able to do the pose, but we're going to do a reclined hamstring stretch. So to get started, I want you to press your left leg into the mat, flex that left foot, and then bring that right knee in towards your chest, and wrap your strap around the ball of the foot. If you don't have a strap, you're going to interlace your fingers behind your hamstring. So once you get the strap wrapped around, I want you to hold on to the two ends with one hand, and then take your other hand, your right hand, and I want you to pull that right foot towards you. So you have a gentle flex in that right leg. So I want you to find your edge, that place where you're not shaking, just that place that feels good. Because we're going to hold this for 2 minutes. So you have a little bit of strain here with your arms holding the strap, but for the most part they're relaxed. And I want you to relax through the shoulders. You can close down your eyes if you like and just breathe. And then go ahead and bend that right knee, remove your strap, and then stretch that right leg out in front of you. Now I want you to flex the right leg, press that right foot and leg down into the mat, bend your left knee, and then wrap your strap around the ball of the foot. You can wrap your hands around the back of your hamstring and interlace your fingers if you don't have a strap. And then you can take your left hand or your right hand, hold onto the two straps, gently flex that right or left foot, and then lift your left leg up until you find your edge. So once again, no shaking here. We want it to be a nice gentle stretch. And you can take your opposite hand, bringing it up the strap to have a little more control here. And then once you find your edge, let your arms relax. Let your shoulders relax. Allow yourself to be still and hold the pose. Go ahead and bend that left knee, remove your strap, and then you can set your strap to the side. Relax your left leg down by your right leg. Let your feet fall out to the sides. Let your shoulders relax. Palms face up towards the sky, and we'll just take a 2-minute Shavasana. So you can go ahead and begin to deepen your breath and wiggle your toes and fingers, waking your body back up. And then just roll to the left or the right. Press your hand into the mat to push yourself up to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today. Namaste.